Mr. Speaker, why should we have such a massive defense bill? Why, in this time of high budget deficits and cutbacks in domestic programs, are we talking about big increases in defense? The quick answer to that question is that we find ourselves in a posture of having to play catch-up ball. We simply have not done the things we should have done concerning readiness and concerning procurement and R&D over the long haul that will allow us to keep up with the progress that the Soviet Union has been making over the years. I should point out to the members that when we come to the House with a defense bill or with a budget from the President, this thing is laid out in the open for everybody to see. The papers, the TV, and the radio all over the country have been playing us the fact that we have this big defense budget, and in many ways in the next week they will play up the fact of what is in that defense budget down to almost the smallest detail. So our people are caught up in this whole thing, and you are either for defense or you are against it, or you are concerned about where we are going. Also, we forget the fact that in the Soviet Union we do not see their defense budget. We do not know, in fact, how many rubles they are spending for defense. The average person on the street is not treated to what the Soviets have been doing over the last 10 or 15 years as they started to rebuild their war machinery. So in effect, we are dealing in a vacuum with numbers on our side that are all out there for the people to see. And in many ways, they are staggering and horrifying when we think about the size of these numbers. On the other hand, we are dealing with Soviet numbers that are invisible and with weapons systems that, as far as the American people are concerned, are invisible. We will be coming to the members somewhat later this year with a defense bill based on this budget, and I wish that the members and those who will read up or hear what I have to say will ponder on this effort to try to compete what we are doing in the open. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the defendant stands charged by indictment with the offense of murder, alleged to have been committed in Meeker County, Minnesota, on or about the 29th day of July, 1984. The defendant has pleaded not guilty. Our law provides that a person commits murder if he intentionally or knowingly causes the death of an individual. A person acts intentionally or with intent with respect to the nature of his conduct or to a result of his conduct when it is the conscious objective or desire to engage in the conduct or cause the result. A person acts knowingly or with knowledge with respect to the nature of his conduct or to circumstances surrounding his conduct when he is aware of the nature of his conduct or that the circumstances exist. A person acts knowingly or with knowledge with respect to a result of his conduct when he is aware that his conduct is reasonably certain to cause the result. Now, if you should find and believe that the evidence beyond a reasonable doubt on or about the 29th day of July 1984 in Meeker County, Minnesota, shows that the defendant did intentionally and knowingly cause the death of an individual, David Matt, by cutting him and stabbing him with a knife, as set forth in the indictment, then you will find the defendant guilty of murder. Unless you so find beyond a reasonable doubt, or if you have a reasonable doubt thereof, you will acquit the defendant or of the offense of murder and consider whether the defendant is guilty of the lesser offense of voluntary manslaughter. A person commits voluntary manslaughter if he intentionally or knowingly causes the death of an individual, or if he intends to cause serious bodily injury and commits an act clearly dangerous to human life that causes the death of an individual, except that he caused the death under the immediate influence of sudden passion arising from an adequate cause. Sudden passion means passion directly caused by and arising out of provocation by the individual killed or another acting with the person killed, which passion arises at the time of the offense and is not solely the result of former provocation. Adequate cause means cause that would commonly produce a degree of anger, rage, resentment, or terror in a person of ordinary temper sufficient to render the mind incapable of cool reflection.
That was too fast.
Too fast?